Welcome everybody, this is Kriek and I am your host for today's webinar, and it is now 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and today is Wednesday the 19th of August 2026. It is exactly 6 p.m. here in Portugal. Just let me know if you can hear my voice and see the welcome screen. Elena says hello. The chat's working, that's fantastic. Thank you, Elena. I see that there's more people coming in. Remember that this session is being recorded, so you can always go and view that recording at a later stage. I'll show you how and where to access the recordings. Okay, so we actually have a busy day today. We have the FOMC meeting minutes coming out in an hour, so I do think that the market is going to be a bit volatile on that. Especially if we see and hear that the Fed might be taking a bit of a more aggressive dovish stance. That would be very interesting. But before we get started, I need to make mention that nobody here at KriekTrade or me, TM Kriek, we are not financial advisors, and that means I can teach you or I can show you where I personally would want to basically buy and sell, but the actual trading decision is still going to have to make yourself. A little bit about me. I am the founder of the KriekTrade.io investment platform, and we analyze the markets through the lens of the 18.6-year property cycle. We teach day trading, medium-term trading, as well as investing, how to construct a portfolio, as well as trading system development. You can also analyze a variety of instruments. Right. My mantra is that the market reflects your mindset. So if you're going to fear loss, you can basically welcome it. So master your fear and double down on focus. And that means focusing on your trading strategy. And that means if you get stopped out, then so be it. Okay. Right. So who do we have here? I see we have Alfred also. Thank you for joining. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to open up the KriekTrade dashboard, and we can see that the risk gauge is at 90, which means we have an extreme greed situation. Expect risky assets to increase in value. Expect, for instance, crypto to move up. Expect equities to move higher, and high yielding currencies such as the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, the pound. And expect the dollar to continue to weaken, expect the yen to weaken, as well as the Swiss franc. The Swiss franc is a little bit strange because it is strengthening at the moment. So we can go and have a look at that and see what trading opportunities we have today that's presenting itself. Okay, let's go and have a look at the economic calendar. Today is the 19th, and you can see here, let me just zoom in on that. We had inflation from the United Kingdom, but most importantly, we have the FOMC meeting minutes coming out today. So keep an eye on that. That will be released in the next hour, and expect some volatility in the markets. So let's see what we can take action on today. I'm going to go and click on the scanner, and I am going to start with Forex. Right. And I'm going to sort this by signal. And I see that the pound US dollar, there is a bullish setup that's confirmed. Aussie US dollar, New Zealand dollar, yen, euro, Hungarian forint. That's an exotic one, as well as copper versus the US dollar. Okay, now copper needs to be in commodities. I don't know why it ended up. We did an update today with with a feed provider, and now copper has found itself in Forex. Okay. Just making a note here. Okay. Elena's asking if I can have a look at the New Zealand dollar yen. Okay, let's jump into that one. Right, this is what we have from the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. Currently, it is above the 45 period exponential moving average, and there is a bullish setup that has been confirmed, as well as a trading opportunity with a risk reward of 1 to 2. So for each dollar that you are risking, you will basically be rewarded with 2, which is very nice. So let's go directly to the 1 hour chart and see what's happening here. Click on the stop loss and the target, and there you have it. A stop loss at 91.67, an entry where the market is now at 93.99 with a target at 98.26, which is about 426 pips away from where we are now. That's quite substantial. So we can expect a significant breakout here. Now let's see how this setup unfolded in terms of the Fibonacci ABCD swing. So I'm going to go and click on the H1 Fibonacci, and it's going to plot the Fibonacci's for me here. And here we have the A, and that's where the stop loss is. There we have the B. Then the market retraced to the C, which is just below the 236 retracement level. So it never hit the 382 retracement, and because of that, the D extension is going to be at the 2.618, not the 1.618. That's why we have this lovely target to the upside. So that's bullish. There is a buying opportunity right now with a very, very good risk reward ratio. And let's go and enable the buy and sell marker. So there was actually a buying opportunity that presented itself earlier today in the Asian session, because the market retraced, it hit the 236, and then the RSI crossed its own moving average to the upside. And instead of continuing higher, it consolidated a little bit and it actually made a slightly lower low. So that would have been an even better risk reward ratio. But if you miss that opportunity, there is definitely still a good risk reward here, even if you are a little bit late on that trade. Looking really nice. Okay, right, so there's your analysis on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. Just for interest sake, I want to go and have a look at the technical analysis here. Let's draw the Dow channels. So there we have a primary trend or a major trend that's bullish, a secondary trend that's bullish as well, and a minor trend that is sideways, signaling there is resistance against that minor trend resistance. I wouldn't worry too much about that because the probability is bullish. But let's see what this looks like on the 1 hour chart. So there we go. There's the minor trend. All right, so that's the trend lines. Let's have a look and see if we got any patterns or harmonic patterns. Okay, there's a harmonic pattern. This is a bearish harmonic pattern, a bearish butterfly. But I would really take this with a pinch of salt, especially because we have a bullish probability. I wouldn't worry too much about that. And then the AI forecast is showing that price will continue higher. Look at that. Nice one. Okay, I like this. And it also says here that the macro confirms the AI forecast, which just means we are in a risk-on narrative suggesting that the New Zealand dollar will strengthen versus the Japanese yen. And that is exactly what the AI forecast is telling us today. So that fits in with that narrative. Bullish on this one. Any questions on this analysis? Anything that is unclear? Anything that you do not understand, or how to get to this analysis that I just did? Just type it here in your chat box and we can go over that again. Right. Let's go and see what else we have that is aligned. I'm going to go back to the scanner. I'm going to click on Forex and I'm going to click on sort this by signal. Let's have a look at the pound US dollar. By the way, I see the swap fee here. Let me just see. That swap fee is, if I buy the pound US dollar and I get stuck, then I'm going to pay $10 more or less per day on a standard lot for the overnight swap fee. But if I was selling it, I'd be earning $5.60. So just keep an eye on that. That's why I prefer trading something like the New Zealand dollar yen, because the yen interest rate is basically zero, and you'd be earning $5 if you buy it and you get stuck. Okay, so just be aware of that. If you buy the pound US dollar and you get stuck, you might be paying, you're going to see you're going to pay a small fee and overnight interest. Anyway, let's have a look at the pound US dollar. So this is the daily chart. It is bullish. We are above the 45 period exponential moving average, and just straight off the bat here, I can see there is a bullish head and shoulders pattern here. Suggesting that this one will continue higher. There we go. So there's the pattern. Let's see if we got any harmonic patterns. Again, a butterfly, but because the probability is bullish, I'm not going to worry about this bearish butterfly pattern. What do we have from the AI forecast? Showing the price would be heading down. But that is against the underlying probability, and that's why it says there's a macro conflict. So that's clearly showing you not to basically put a lot of weight on what the AI forecast is telling you. You see, what we're trying to do here is we are trying to filter out the false signals. And this is a prime example of a false signal. Okay, just like any indicator, if the probability is bullish and the market is going up, but you get a sell signal, don't put a lot of effort into that. Don't worry too much about that. Take it with a pinch of salt. Focus rather on the signals that are telling you to buy because the probability is bullish. Okay. Right. So that's what we have from the pound US dollar. I'm going to go and have a look at the chart on the 1 hour. The risk reward here is a little bit off, 1 to 0.6. So you're going to risk $100 only to make 56. So that's a missed opportunity. Let's have a look at the ABCD swing. There was a buy that already occurred over here early in August, and since then the market has been trending higher, you see. So that's why the risk reward is so terrible at the moment, is because that was a missed opportunity. But let's see what the 1 hour fibs are telling us. Up ABCD swing, lovely retracement, and now the market is heading up to the 2.618. Okay, so the pound US dollar is bullish. Elena says, if I have an old position on the NZD yen with a different profit target to the new one we have now, should I modify it to the new profit target, or this new signal is a new entry opportunity? Let me think. I would focus on the new opportunity, on the new target. Okay, that's what I would do. I would focus on the new, I would use the new target. Okay, because that is a legitimate target, legitimate D extension. That's what I would do, yeah. All right, so the pound US dollar is bullish, but I'm not so happy about the risk reward ratio. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, go to Forex. Sort this by signal. Aussie US dollar is also bullish. The risk reward is also not that good. Look at this. Risking $100 to make $27. But clearly the market is bullish. We're above the 45 period exponential moving average on the daily chart. There's a falling wedge that was broken to the upside. You see, now I put weight on this one. You know, I like what I'm seeing here. This is a bullish pattern, and it occurred in a bullish probability. What a pleasure. Let's look at the AI forecast showing that the market would be heading up. It's going to tell us that it's confirming the macro. There's high confidence. And trend lines. We're in a nice bullish secondary trend, so that's also nice. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. There is a bearish minor trend. But again, I mean, trend line resistance in a bullish probability, take that with a pinch of salt. I know. Okay, so let's see what we have from the Fibonacci ABCD swing. So there was a buy opportunity here after the market retraced to the C. So that was a while ago. That was on the 13th of August. The market is so close to the D extension. So it is a missed opportunity. I wouldn't be risking $100 to make 27. Yeah, okay. I'd pass on that. There we go. So there's your target, entry, stop loss, and the target. All right. So the pound US dollar, the risk reward isn't the best. Go back to Forex. Sort by signal. Okay, so we had a look at the pound US dollar. We had a look at the Aussie US dollar, NZD yen. Hungarian forint. Honestly, I wouldn't be trading this one. Most brokers don't even offer this. Risk reward is also not the best. Look at that. Wow. There was a buying opportunity here a while ago. It actually did hit the DX. It actually did hit the target. It spiked through it. Did hit the target. Interesting. Well, I don't know if the broker would have fooled you on that, but nevertheless, the target was it. Okay, pass on this. I mean, that's a terrible risk reward. Back to the scanner. Forex, sort by signal. Oh, and then we have copper, the one that I made the note on, because copper should be in commodities. But nevertheless, let's just see. It's going to be interesting to see what's going on here. Hi there, Jules. Thanks for joining. Nice to see you. All right, so this is copper. Copper is in a bull trend. The probability is bullish. It is above the 45 period exponential moving average. Let's see what we have from the AI forecast. It does show that it is going to move higher, and it does fit in with the underlying narrative. Trend lines. Major trend is bullish. Secondary trend is bullish. Minor trend is bullish. And if I go and have a look at the 1 hour chart, there's the up AB boundary. It did retrace, did give a buy signal, but then the market made a lower low, and that is now the most recent C, which is at the 382. So the D extension is the 1.618. So it's heading up to the 1.618. But if you look at the risk reward here, you're risking $100 to make only 106. It's not the best risk reward. You know, I'd be going closer to 1.1.5, 1.2. Okay. But anyway, that was on copper. So far, the best trade for the day, for those of you joining us a bit late, is the NZD JPY, New Zealand dollar Japanese yen. Look at that. A fantastic risk reward ratio. And we're heading up to the D extension with about 420 pips of upside potential. Right. So that's what we have from foreign exchange. New Zealand dollar Japanese yen. That's the only one that's really standing out today. Back to the scanner. Let's see what we have from crypto. Let's sort this by signal. And we have Solana, BNB, which is Binance coin, Tron, Chainlink, Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin is waiting for a bullish setup. And Ethereum as well, waiting for a bullish setup. But look at the recent price. It's more than 2,000. This one was like at 1,600 or something earlier today. There was quite a big jump. I just want to see what's happening with Ethereum. Yeah. Yeah, look at that huge daily candlestick here today. Look at this is the daily chart. Look at that huge daily candlestick. Incredible. Incredible. Wow. Okay, so that's nice and bullish, and it's above the 45 period exponential moving average. We look at the AI forecast. It shows it is going to move a little bit higher, then retrace, and then come back again. Trend lines, a bullish primary trend, a bearish secondary trend. Not going to be too worried about that resistance. I guess you can draw this trend line a little bit different, but the way that we're drawing these trend lines is weighted according to the intermediate line. So that's basically how we are drawing the trend lines. Okay, so that's bullish. Let's look at the trading signals here. Oh, there's a recent one. There's one unfolding at the moment. Gosh. So it's broken out of this huge range, and now all of a sudden there's a There's a B that's established. The market is retracing at the moment. There is a C, but it has not retraced to the 236 yet. So I think the moment that it's going to retrace to 236, you'll get a signal. But just as it is at the moment, there's a fantastic risk reward here of more than 1 to 2. Look at that. For each $100 that you'd be risking, you'd be making 213. So that is a nice one. But if I go back to the scanner, it's telling me crypto signal. If I go back to the scanner, Ethereum, it says wait for a bullish setup. And the reason it's saying that is because it has not retraced the 382. It might still be in the process of retracing after we got that huge breakout. Okay. The next one is Bitcoin. Also a buy signal here. Look at that. Exactly the same thing. So all these cryptos have broken out today out of their ranges, and it's exactly the same thing that's happening here. Still in the process of retracing. It hasn't hit the 236. The 236 is here. This is the 382. This is the 236. Or is this the 236? 786 618 50 382 236. Ah, there we go. So this is the 236. It's very close to it. Very, very close to that. So the moment that there's a 236 and we get across from the RSI, it's going to give a buy signal. But there's a target here at 81,000. 81,044. It's really nice to see that cryptos are finally breaking out. I mean, look at this huge candlestick from Bitcoin. You know what? This also looks like a bullish head and shoulders pattern. Look at this. Came back for the right shoulder before we head up. Oh, and it's broken out of this ascending triangle. Look at this. An ascending triangle is a bullish pattern where you have basically a flat bottom with the market making higher lows. So that's nice to see. Any harmonic patterns? Yes, we've got a huge harmonic pattern here, a cipher pattern where you have the X at the beginning and then the A, B, C, and then the D. And now the market's making a U-turn at this D and we're heading up towards the A. The A is the target of your cipher pattern and that is at 109. Imagine that. Okay, so that is bullish. AI forecast showing that it is going to continue higher, and that fits in with the narrative. So expect Bitcoin to continue higher. All right, let's go and see what we have from the scanner again. Let's go and have a look at crypto again. Okay, I had a look at Bitcoin. I had a look at Ethereum. We have Chainlink, Tron, Binance Coin. If anything here is interesting and you do actively trade that, let me know and I'll give you an overview. But I think I'm going to move on to commodities. I'd like to see what's happening with West Texas Intermediate Oil. I want to see what's happening with gold and silver as well. West Texas Intermediate crude oil bullish setup has been confirmed. Wow. Is oil moving higher? Look at that. This is the daily chart. We're above the 45 period exponential moving average. This really looks like a cup and handle. I know in yesterday's flex trading room, I did point this out to the to the people the MTI webinar that I host. So that's your handle, and there's your cup. So this signals that price will continue higher. If we have a look at the AI forecast, it does show that it is going to move higher. So the probability here is bullish. It shows that oil is going to move higher. Will it have a material effect on inflation? Absolutely, it will. But that's not stopping the dollar from weakening and equities from continuing higher. So, okay, so that is bullish. Now, there's a buy signal confirmed. So let's see where the target is here. Oh, at 89. And the risk reward is terrible. Risking $100 to make 41. All right, anyway. I mean, with all the volatility, imagine there's a de-escalation geopolitically in the Strait of Hormuz. You're going to see this one come down again. So just take this as an indicator. I wouldn't be trading gold, oil, excuse me. Right, then back to commodities. Oops, commodities. Uh, let's have a look at gold. My eye is catching a signal here with a target at 4,652, but the risk reward is terrible. Look at this, risking $100 to make only 29. I don't like that. But I'm inquisitive to see what the 1 hour fib is telling me. Okay, so there was an up AB boundary, and then there was a retracement. Okay. Right. Not a good risk reward. I'm going to move on here. I just want to see what we have from the AI forecast. It's showing a big move to the upside. Goodness gracious. Imagine that. Wow. Okay. That signals significant dollar weakness. I need to remember to have a look at the dollar index as well today. Let's go back to the scanner. Commodities, silver. It says you wait for a bullish setup. Okay, we are bullish. This one is above the 45 period exponential moving average on the daily chart. AI forecast is slightly bullish, and it is in line with the underlying macroeconomic climate. But let's see what we have on the 1 hour. And there's your 1 hour Fibonacci up AB boundary retracement. Didn't quite hit the 382, and now we're heading up to the D. So it's one of those situations where it did not give us a signal due to the fact that the market did not even retrace to the 236. You know, we built this in to the system that if there is no 382, then excuse me, if there isn't even a 236 retracement, it's not going to give you a buy signal, but it still gives you the target and the stop loss and all of that if you want to go ahead. But it's not going to, it almost never gives you a very good risk reward ratio. So money is made when we buy low and sell high, right? And the objective here would be to buy as low as possible. And that means to at least get that retracement. If you don't get it, you might find yourself buying and only seeing that the market retraces after that. Okay. Elena, yes, absolutely. We can have a look at Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm done with commodities. Let's go back to Bitcoin here. BTC, USD. Right, the daily chart is bullish. There's a huge breakout here today. And I'd like to point out that there is a bullish head and shoulders pattern signaling um, that price will continue higher. If we have a look at the AI forecast, it signals that price will be moving higher as well, potentially retracing before it moves higher, but higher nevertheless, and it confirms the macroeconomic environment. And let's have a look at the 1 hour chart. So there's the 1 hour. And look at that. So we do have a very shallow C retracement at the moment. It has to hit the 236. It has to. It's retracing now. And I'd wait for that one to at least hit the 236, because the moment it hits the 236 and you get a fresh cross, excuse me, a fresh cross. That's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Anyway, once you get a fresh cross from the RSI, where the RSI crosses its own moving average, then you're going to get a buy signal. Okay, and it will be pointed out like that in the scanner as well. So the main reason here why there is no signal, even though there's been a breakout and a massive target to the upside with a lovely risk reward ratio, is for the simple reason that we do not have a 236 retracement. And you'll see in the scanner, let's go the scanner or scanner, me and my South African accent. Scanner, go to crypto, and if you have a look at Bitcoin, it says wait for a bullish setup. Not buy signal confirmed or bullish setup confirmed. Wait for a bullish setup, and that means wait for that signal to occur. Okay, so that's what we have from Bitcoin. So far today, we had a look at commodities. We had a look at foreign exchange. The only one that really was a good trade or an actionable symbol to trade is the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. Apart from that, crypto is really setting up with good risk reward ratios. Ethereum as well as Bitcoin just waiting for that little bit of a retracement after we've seen the big breakouts today. And then finally, I want to have a look at stocks and see what's happening with stocks. Now let's click on stocks and sort them by signal. Apple is bullish. There's quite a lot here. Apple, Amazon, Constellation Energy, CEG, ServiceNow, Shopify, NOV. I don't even know what NOV is. November. What is NOV? Well, if you don't know what it is, you can go and click on asset valuation, type it in here, NOV, and click on generate report. Let's see. NOV Inc. It's also not telling me exactly what it is. It does give me the market cap. Maybe the AI assistant can tell me what NOV is. Ah, NOV Inc., formerly known as National Oil Well, VARCO, is a prominent American multinational corporation headquartered in Houston, Texas. It's a leading global provider of technology, equipment, services for the upstream oil and gas industry. Aha! Okay, so now we know it's an oil company, and it's telling me within the dashboard context, in your KriekTrade dashboard, no, NOV is currently showing a bullish setup confirmed signal with a swing position target of 22. Nice. Okay, well, let's go and open it up and see. Isn't this awesome that there's an AI assistant that you can ask things? Okay, anyway, let's go to NOV. There we go. Click on that. Okay. And there's a target where at 22. It's currently retracing. So you might be getting a better entry here. The risk reward is kind of a one-to-one at the moment. So that's one that is aligned. Not the best risk reward, really. Really. Um, let's go back to stocks. Sort by signal. There's quite a lot here. Chevron. There's so many here. There's so many. I go with Amazon. Let's see what's happening with Amazon here. Risk reward 1 to 1.5 is not too bad. This one is bullish, be above the 45 period exponential moving average. If I look at the 1 hour chart, lovely up ABCD swing, heading to the D extension after a deep retracement at the 382. We're heading up to the 1.618. On the daily chart, AI forecast is bullish, and the macro confirms the AI forecast here. And if we have a look at the Dow channels, the trend lines, lovely major trend, secondary trend, and the minor trend is bullish as well here. There we go, look at that. Does show that it's going to move higher if I use the AI forecast. Okay, dual indexes. Yes, let's go to the indexes. Scanner indexes. Show by signal. Okay, the Dow Jones is bullish. There's a bull flag. The target is at 57,000. The VIX. VIX is also bullish, but really I wouldn't be trading the VIX at this moment. If price goes up, the VIX will go down. So we're going to recalibrate that. French index, European stocks 50, Hong Kong, Australia, Switzerland. The British pound as a currency index is bullish. The New Zealand dollar currency index is bullish as well, which is going to bode well for the buy on the NZD yen. But the S&P is also bullish and waiting for a bullish setup. That's the one that you asked for. And the risk reward here isn't that good. Risking $100 to make 55. Let's look at the stop loss and target. So if you had to buy it now, there's a target there at 8,491. There isn't a buy signal at this point, and I'm going to tell you why. It retraced but never hit the 236. Never hit the 236. And again, we have calibrated the system in such a way that if it doesn't hit the 236, it will not give you a buy signal because you're not going to get a good risk reward ratio. And it's so vitally important to trade with a good risk reward ratio, because ultimately you are going to be stopped out in some trades, but you still want to make more money than what you're losing. And that means you need to trade with a good risk reward ratio. So the risk reward here isn't so great. But if you're looking for a target, 8,491, it's bullish, heading up, heading up. Let's have a look at the AI forecast showing a retracement. But now the AI forecast telling us, hey, market's going to go down. But the narrative is bullish. You know, we risk on. And that's why it's saying it's conflicting with the macro. So take that with a pinch of salt. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we have from the S&P. The one that's really standing out at the moment is the Dow. Dow Jones. Yeah, there we go. That's the symbol. That's bullish. There's your major trend, secondary trend, minor trend. Forecast showing also a bit of a retracement. It's going to tell me it's against the macro. And the risk reward here is also terrible. Look at that. This one never retraced to the 236. Crazy. But there is a target at 57,601. Okay, so in a nutshell, still risk on. Equities are heading up. Yen's weakening. New Zealand dollar is going up. Crypto is going up. I think there's nice setups presenting itself on Bitcoin and Ethereum also. So keep your eye on the scanner, keep your eye on the charts. I think it might be the start of a nice surge to the upside. Imagine that. Okay, so that's it from me today. I really appreciate your participation and thank you for joining. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday. Okay, and as usual, if you have any comments or feedback or any questions, just send me an email or you can go to the contact form on the website. Have a lovely rest of your day. This is your friend from Portugal, Tian Kriek.